same car with the same technology, and we have different sensors in the car for different functionalities that we have today in series production. This is what you see on that slide. I think you get all the slides, so you can see everything that we today have in our portfolio. So this is the base for it. What we added to the car is actually based on the target issues that we're working on. It's mainly three things. One of them is you need a pretty precise map. It's like the race driver, he needs to know the track. So our car needs to know the track. It's the first thing. This is something that we measure and we put into the system. The second one, and this is where it starts to get tricky, it's like the race driver needs to know where he is on the track. Is he in front of the curve? Is he on the braking point, turning point? And this is what we do by using two different technologies. One of them you see here. You see on the roof of the car, it's not the normal GPS. You have a differential GPS which is more precise, which is something that I assume in some years we will have more precise GPS for people and cars also. This is one technology that we use. And the second one, I'll come to the issue of redundancy in the end. We always have two ways that leads to a common goal. The second way to position the car to make sure that you know where you are on the racetrack, we do it via cameras. So you'll see we have two cameras also in the rear. And these two cameras, they do basically one thing. In the development phase, we drive around the track and we capture a lot of pictures. And while he's racing, he's capturing also pictures, and he's trying to look for reference points that he captured the first time and to connect it to the same reference point that he sees in the picture when he's driving again. So by putting this layer on each other, he can see, actually by triangulation, doing it into the front, into the back, he can see very precise where he is. It sounds pretty easy, but this has to be done in almost real time. And this is a lot of computing power that you need to do that. So we have just one PC in the back doing just that. And it's a technology that is still in the beginning, but I see a huge potential for this technology also to come into serious production cars. Because even if at some point we have a GPS that is very precise, we will never build up a highly automated functionality based on one signal. We always use at least two. And this is, you'll see this redundancy is one thing that you cover through all the car. So positioning, redundant, GPS. The next thing that we have here is a sensor unit. It's like the human being has balance to feel the yaw rate and the acceleration. We have a more precise sensor cluster than we use today. And in the back, you won't see the Z-Bus, which is the computer model. I can talk about it later with you also, which is going to serious production. We have the whole computing power of a current Audi A4 on that main board. So this is very important for driver assistance systems because you have to process a lot of data. Here we are still on pre-development platform, so we have our computers in the back. One computer is doing mainly the driving, so this is the driving brain is in there. The second computer, as I said, is computing all the information that you get through the cameras, which is a lot. And the third computer is networking the whole car. So only not networking with sensors, but also networking with the driving task. And what you can see here is a normal RS7, so it's basically the same technology that we have and that we use. The only thing that we change is talking again about redundancy. If the car gets to the end of the lane in front of the curve, and let's see the braking system has a problem. We brake using the ESC system. If the ESC system has a problem, you don't have the leg of the driver inside to really brake the car, so we need a second braking source. And this is the active brake booster. So we have redundancy over there to make sure that if one fails, the other one is properly braking the car. And the third thing that is actually not written here is we have also redundancy. You can see it in the roof of the car. We have a second plug, so we have different sources for energy, because if the energy, for some reason in the car, the energy supply has a problem, it doesn't help you to have the braking system because both work on energy. So that's why you need to separate them and put them, every one of them, in a plug. So redundancy from the sensor side, redundancy for the positioning side, redundancy for the braking system, and for the power supply. This is actually the third thing that I wanted to talk about, which is getting more and more important. By the car getting more and more automated, we will have to implement more redundancies in the car. Human beings have a lot of experience, and this experience we give to the car, but also if there is one failure in one technology, in one system, in one component, we always will have a second one monitoring it, but also taking over if one does a failure. And this is something similar. That's why we talk also about piloted driving. You have a lot of similarities to the airplane. Airplanes also have redundancies, and the nice thing about redundancies is it doesn't only help the airplane when it's in the pilot mode, it also helps the airplane when the guy is flying. So this is the same thing here. Having two braking systems in the car also helps the customer when he's driving, because we have two systems. If one doesn't work, the other one will take over. So this is also one thing that will step by step be implemented in our cars. So that's basically technology-wise what we have. Afterwards, when the car is here, we can have a look in the trunk, so you see all the stuff that we put in. And what I want to make sure is, I mean, this is not a car that will be in serious production like that. This is a pre-development project for us. And as I said, we talked about this high precise positioning issue. This will be a very important thing. If you, for instance, in some time you want to have a functionality on a highway, you want, for instance, to maneuver around a critical situation. The guy in front of you brake. Today the only thing that we do is we brake. But the human being, you quickly look into your mirror and you see the left lane is clear. What you do, you change the left lane. So this is a high potential for security issue, not only to brake but also to steer. If you want to steer, you need to make sure that on the left hand side you have actually a free lane. This is the first task. I mean, you can of course get off the road, but this is stupid. So make sure you have a left lane and make sure you know exactly where you are on the lane. This is where this project and the serious project really come together, you know, identifying where am I, what is the space that I still have, and can I avoid an accident by getting around some object that is standing on the road track. So this is a huge issue, and actually the last one is what you will see in the car is when you have a trajectory where you say this is the optimum trajectory in serious production in some years, how to maneuver a car around this trajectory so that it doesn't get more unstable. I mean, you don't want to get the customer from a critical situation into a more critical situation. So you need to make sure that once you do that the car is pretty stable and safe. So this is also what we are testing here. Finally, I want to say, of course, we test also on the proving ground. I mean, doing it on a racetrack is something that is also very emotional for us and for you. But of course, we develop this kind of functionalities on the proving ground that we have around the world. But the racetrack is definitely for us and for the team. It's an amazing thing because, I mean, when do we have the opportunity to get on a racetrack with your guys and let them drive and test? So this is, of course, we develop it on the proving ground, and the racetrack is a kind of demo for you and a kind of emotional kick for us to do it here. So I hope you have fun afterwards when you drive. And coming to the driving issue, where is Reinhold?